It's another Thursday night. We're up here, ready to go. Up in the booth at Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty, as we're going live from Kansas Motor Speedway up here. And it is looking like it's going to be a competitive race, of course, as always. And the UpperEdge Racing CMC Sportsman Series continues their Trek race number 18. Just a couple of races left before we get down to the end of the season and move on and look towards the next Sportsman Series starting in 2016. So, I mean, we're right there on the brink. Corey Hoover has a significant lead. We'll talk about that here momentarily. But going into tonight, I think one of the biggest things that we're just going to have to watch for tonight is there's going to be a lot of drivers pushing their cars to the limit out here. Chris Wright is notably the Rookie of the Year here, of course. He's up second in points right now, 77 points out from Mr. Corey Hoover. So, I mean, chances are he's got no game for him. However, I mean, just the fact that he's up there in second over drivers like Mark Murphy, Ryan Dyson up in the top 5, very impressive. So, I mean, those points, the first place is pretty much solidified unless Corey Hoover wrecks out in 2 races in a row, and that'll make things at Homestead a little more interesting. But other than that, it's going to be the fight for second and third and fourth in the point standings that are going to make things really interesting, Shane.
Yeah, definitely Steve and Corey Hoover. He's pretty much in the first seat, take it nice and easy tonight, and he's pretty much going into Homestead with nothing to lose, and the championship already locked up. You know, actually 2 races before as we go to Phoenix next week as well, but he could go into that week as well with a good finish tonight and be fine. So he's pretty much set. But you talked about Chris Wright. He's in second in the points. Mark Murphy's third, just a point back of him, and then also Michael Larea up here in fourth. These guys all have a chance to, you know, switch around in the points and make something happen there for that second spot. Be the runner-up to Corey Hoover would definitely be something pretty amazing as well. Maybe not the championship, but still for these guys a big deal after going 20 races into this season. It's been a long one. But tonight we're at the Kansas Speedway. It's been a very unique track on iRacing, and I think with the dynamic track surface as well, it's going to create for some pretty interesting races.
And then what I'm really interested right now, look at the top 10, Shane. Less than a tenth separates everybody in the top 10. Michael Larea, with just a few minutes left in the final round of Open Q, is going to be leading him down to the green. It looks like Joe Lawrence will be starting in second. Justin Munsil will be starting third. Tom Bourne looks to be in fourth. Bradley Burke fifth. Corey Hoover all the way back in sixth. Chris Wright there right behind him in the number 20 machine, and that'll be seventh. Ryan Dyson, J.D. Laird, Justin Krasinski stacked top 10 there for sure. And continuing to look through the field here, Mark Roppolo, Chad Coleman, Andy Glazik back here tonight, Riley Grant Davis, Austin Hartenfels, Trevor Roppolo, Shane Terrian, Bronson Stafford, Corey Blevins, and then Brennan Madonia will be routing out the top 20. They're 3/10 off from the leader. I mean, it sounds like a lot if you're all the way back in 20th, but when you're only 3/10 off, I mean, that entire top 15, just over a tenth, separates the entire top 15. And then looking through the rest of the drivers here, most of them have not taken times, so that'll wrap up the time-taking drivers. Like I said, I really think that tonight's race is going to be very competitive, Shane.
Definitely will be. We've got about 25 cars or so here for tonight's event. It's going to be 133 laps here under the dark night sky of the Kansas Speedway here in Kansas. It's definitely going to be something to watch. This track's been mostly in high groove track, especially now with the shading that we see from the walls. Really going to create some grip now that the track has heat in it, or heat differences with the dynamic track surface. So this should really solidify these guys up in the top groove at least. But you know, maybe that's going to open up a chance earlier in the run for that inside lane to work. We've seen it on restarts where that inside lane is faster. Maybe that's going to be extended for a certain consecutive there for that, and possibly open up that as a racing lane as well.
And I am catching up down here on pit road with Austin Hartenfels. Austin, it's Bonesteel and Doherty up in the booth. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, getting ready to watch you guys go around this Kansas Speedway. We're coming down to the end of the season. We're getting ready to get down on the grid. Take us through what this race is going to be like from the driver's perspective.
Well, it's kind of weird. This track is, especially at night, it's tight a lot of the time. You're pretty much full throttle for the beginning of the run, and then I think we're going to have to start letting off as the run goes on and the tires wear out. And you're going to have to be running up high, I think, most of the time, especially at the beginning of the run, because the inside line really wears out your tires. So after a couple of laps, I think we're going to be letting off around the outside and it's going to be hard to pass. I know that. Just we did a truck race here on Monday night, and I know it was pretty difficult to pass. So we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to get pretty tight though, and then a little snappy loose maybe.
Well, before we get down onto the grid, what do you think the strategy is going to be like here? I mean, there's always that chance at a 1.5-mile track. These guys, we could stay green for quite some time. Pit stops, pit strategy. This place has a lot of grip. How does it work out?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it stays green. I know green flag pit stop's going to be interesting. It's sort of hard to get on pit road with all the speed you're carrying in 3 and 4. And then I know we did have a couple cautions on Monday night, so I'm predicting there's going to be a few cautions tonight just because of how hard it is to drive on the bottom, and someone's probably going to try the bottom and it's not going to work out. But we'll see if it goes green. I'm looking forward to it actually if it does go green, because I think I have a pretty good car in the long run, but we'll figure it out here. No, I'm not sure about fuel yet either.
All right, Austin, we'll get you back down to your team here as we are almost set and ready to roll off from pit road. It's going to be a good one, that is for sure.
All right, thanks guys.
Now, Shane, over to you. What are your keys to the race here tonight?
Well, coming at the Kansas Speedway, a 1.5-mile track, as we've been talking about all night, Steve. I think track position, just heard it there. It's very hard to pass here, so track position is going to be one of the biggest keys to tonight's event, getting to the front and staying there throughout the entire event, especially toward the end when these guys make that final pit stop. You need to be in the top 10, if not the top 5 if you can be, to have a chance to win this race, and if you're not, it's pretty much impossible, unless barring some kind of extreme wreck or something completely out of the ordinary. So keep your way toward the front. You guys should have a good chance to win tonight's event.
Of course, one of the big announcements here over at CFI is when we come back for these guys next season, we've got an entire graphics overhaul coming for you guys, and the main goal here is we're going to stop focusing on multitudes of leagues, and we're going to pretty much drop it down. It's going to be the UpperEdge and probably one other league here. It's going to be basically the UpperEdge network here for their Star Series, and that's going to be interesting as that gets kicked off in a few months. So a little bit of the winter time, the holiday season, have some of that time off, and when we come back we'll have ourselves a lot of fun back here again.
It's been a pretty unique season, and I think definitely when we started off in Daytona, had a lot to think of, and we've come a very long way, and a really good way as well. Since then, still got 3 races left in the season, including tonight. Got a championship pretty much locked up with some spots behind that to decide, and who knows, talked about it earlier, Steve, maybe the championship isn't decided quite yet. We'll find that out tonight and more. The field makes their way down the back straightaway here, just moments away from the green flag.
And then it's really just going to be one of those nights where these drivers have to stay on their game all night long. They're going to be right on the top of each other through the majority of the race.
Michael Larea will elect the inside lane in the 44 car for the restart. Bill Dean, that's going to be the dominant lane here. The first couple of laps, got a cold track, cold surface. These drivers, they're definitely hot, getting ready to go for it here as the pace car pulls in. 133 laps scheduled tonight. The green flag's out, and we're racing here at Kansas.
And a good start for the leader, not such a good start for the outside line. Ryan Dyson clears on through to the second row, all the way down to the first row there. And he's going to dive it off the corner. Justin Munsell underneath the 78 of Lawrence, struggling to get that number 78 machine rolling down the back straightaway. Here we go for the first time, all the way up to the outside wall. We've got drivers trying to fan themselves out. Corey Hoover stuck down on the inside line. That's only going to work for a few laps here. Got lots of grip down on this Kansas Speedway. But like I said, once it starts to heat up, I mean, that grip goes away. You've got to find a way around up on the upper sides of the track by that wall.
Corey Hoover started 7th, he's up in 5th. Also Justin Munsell just made a pass there on Joe Lawrence to move up into 3rd. So these guys, they started on the inside lane and they have made their way up so far, and that's pretty much the key. If you get the inside lane, I'm going to move forward pretty much automatically, but just like that, the whole field makes their way up against the wall, and they're going to rim ride here for quite some time.
And Ryan Dyson in the 44 from Raya, they're breaking away right now for the opening bib. Ryan's getting real loose. He's going to do a beautiful job, save it off the outside wall, but here comes Justin Munsell. Corey Hoover cautions out. looks like the 78 of Joe Lawrence is going around.
Yeah, definitely not a good start for the race for the 78 car. Lost a bunch of spots on the restart that time. Ryan Dyson almost went around. He saved it, but unfortunately Joe Lawrence, he gets loose. He goes around in turn 2 there. That's our first caution of the night.
Tell you what, though, Shane, taking a look at that replay, he got very lucky.
Definitely did. I was out from the 4th spot and pretty much in the middle of the track. Had a bunch of guys coming at him. Guys going low, especially on the apron there. Bradley Burke and Chris Wright, notable guys that went all the way down to the apron. And with that backstretch not being grass, it's completely paved. Gives these guys plenty of chances to avoid that and allows everyone to miss it.
But either way, that early on caution sets us back up here for... we just got rid of those pre-race jitters, and now everybody's got them again. Because we're going to line back up. Biggest mover so far, Austin Hartenfeld's up to 9th, as is. Michael Araya will stay up in front, a little bit of faking towards pit road. Don't really expect too many of the front runners to come on down. Some of the drivers towards the back half of the field, they're going to elect to come down pit road. No surprise there. About 4 laps in, 3 laps of green flag. Not much reason to dig.
I think most of those guys have the track position. They feel they're not going to give it up this early on. They'll go ahead and stay out, but I think it's going to be interesting to see how Bradley Burke fares. First car down pit road. He's going to be outside the top 10. We'll get the green flag. Definitely a chance to try it now. Only lap 5, so we'll see.
And then, of course, we're here for the UpperEdge Racing CMC Sportsman Series, and going around, as always, watching these guys go around Kansas Motor Speedway. And it's going to be an interesting night. We've talked about it on and off, of course, but there's a lot of different factors that are going to come into play. Corey Hoover out in front in point standings. He basically has to wreck tonight and then at Phoenix in order to make the final race of the season any interesting. But the battle is going to be for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the point standings.
Seems like everyone focuses on the championship battle, but there's plenty of guys and battles of their own, and I think especially when we end this season, possibly some silly season going on here in the UpperEdge CMC Sportsman Series, guys possibly switching teams, or maybe guys trying to move up and do something different here for next season. Definitely making their case be heard here in the late going and try and see what they can do to impress some teams, and who knows, seeing plenty of these guys, they kind of make their improvement late in the season, and that really helps them build momentum as well heading into the next season. So it's not just necessarily points these guys fight for. There's plenty of other variables that contribute to their next season as well.
And we are double back up. One of the most important things to note about next year is, well, we'll have an elimination style type chase at the tail end of the season. These guys have it in their Road Life Truck Series, and then they will be bringing it over to the CMC Sportsman Series. That will add an entire new level of action to the end of the season here. So that'll be very exciting. I can't wait for that. It's ways away still, of course, because we've still got a few more races this season. Either way, we're double back up. The American Childhood Cancer Organization base car lights are off, so we'll get back to green flag racing.
Once again, Michael Araya likes the inside lane. He's going to have plenty of help behind him. Justin Munseel and also J.D. Blaird's going to be your cars on the inside. We'll see how it fares. Base car pulls off. And here we go once again. Going to be the restart of the race. Back to green flag racing.
A little bit of a jumbled start towards the back there, but good towards the front. Couple of drivers trying to jump, trying to find a way to the outside line very quickly. Araya finds his way down to the inside line. That's the way you got to go in turn 1 and 2 on this opening lap. That's how you get your momentum built up. Here comes Corey Hoover. Here comes Ryan Dyson looking for that top spot.
And he tried to take a look to the outside, but there's really no speed up there, at least on the first opening lap restart here. But for the most part, everyone's just kind of staying in line. Their number one objective is really to get to the outside lane and try and get in that preferred groove as Dyson dives it way low.
Very interesting to see him trying to dive it low here so early on. 8 laps in, that's when the grip is going to be down there, and that's when you don't have to pay for making that move so much. But he's going to get real tight up off the corner. He's going to get a nose underneath of Mariah, but Mariah will have to run down the front straightaway into 1 and 2. Looks like Mariah will keep that spot. Here comes Corey, who are back up on the outside line. And Ryan Dyson's got to be very, very careful right now. It's early on in this race. You don't want to push it too hard, but you don't want to roll over, because at this point, if he starts getting freight trained on the outside, he's only going back.
And he's definitely taking that risk right now. Once again, back to the bottom at 3 and 4. He does have his teammate there in 3rd, Corey Hoover. And that might be one of the reasons he's trying this right now, knowing that he has that safety blanket of someone he knows to possibly let him in. But from the looks of it, of course, he's going to pull right behind Michael and Ryan. He's pretty much going all for broke early on, going for the lead, or like you said, Steve, possibly outside the top 5.
And it looks like Hoover will get the run on Dyson, get up to his outside here, all the way up to the back bumper of Mariah. Not going anywhere quite yet. Dyson's still fighting on that inside line. Let's look a little bit deeper in the field. A little bit further back, still much of the same than what's going on up front. A little bit of battling though. Lazick and Burke side by side there. Actually, that's Madonia falling back now, as that number 2 of Bradley Burke's coming towards the top 10. Looks like Chris Wright's falling back in the number 20 right now, side by side with Madonia.
Some of these cars came to the road here under the first caution, so they might have just a little bit fresher tires, and that really makes a difference. It's kind of showing right now. They make their way toward the front. Some big movers so far in this race. Just mentioned him. Brendan Madonia started 20th. He's up to 13th, so that's +7 for him, contributing well. Also, Austin Hartenfeld.
Oh, Dyson's going around!
Well. But as we say there, Ryan Dyson goes around. He's going to save it, though.
That is exactly what we were talking about, that grip, the tire wear. It's going to get to you very quickly on that inside line. The first few laps, when the grip's there, the line's not heated up, you can make that move. But once your tires start to get hot, that line starts to get hot, the grip goes away, your tires fall off, and he just went from 4th to 21st.
It's definitely a good save, and he's got a lot of room to save it, used it all there, so good job by Ryan. He'll just need a caution to get some morning fresh tires on it, and should be back in this race.
And right now, Andy Blasic's looking on the back of Austin Hartenfeld. We've got a group of drivers right there. Tom Bourne's in the mix as well. Mark Garoppolo's in the mix. All those drivers trying to get around each other. Dane Terrian struggling a little bit up off the corner, catches the outside wall for a hot second. Madonia also catches that outside wall. So everybody right there picking up a little bit of damage for a hot second towards the back of the field. Corey Blevins, though, in trouble here. That number 24, number 94, 24 Designs, number 94, that is, blowing up down the back straightaway, got some significant damage on it, so his night is most likely over. And the up front, Shane, we're getting ready to battle once more.
Corey Hoover's lurking just ever so slightly behind Michael, and he's doing everything he can to possibly get a run off the corner. There's really nowhere to go, though. You know, with the outside lane being the preferred groove, he's trying to go way in the outside there in the tri-oval. Nothing doing there. He knows he can't make the pass on the inside, so for now, he's trying to do everything he can to try and get to the outside, but that's one way to do it. Michael Larrea gets loose, and Corey Hoover goes right by for the lead.
And very quick pass there, making it very easily, and that'll move that 33 up into the lead.
Can happen that fast at Kansas. Get a car loose off the corner and kind of really takes away your straightaway speed, and Corey Hoover, he takes the lead away and really builds on it up to an entire second almost at this point on Michael. And he's got more problems just Michael.
Oh, Bradley Burke in the wall. Big contact there, Bradley Burke. Then the 78 of Lawrence, and then Bronson Stafford gets involved as well.
Yeah, everybody riding in the line. One car hit all slowed down, and that was pretty much a crumble zone there. A lot of cars got up there and have a lot of front end damage to both Lawrence and Bronson Stafford's car.
Yeah, heavy contact on those guys. Their nights are going to be effectively over when it comes to speed as well. And then Now the 38 of Shane Darian's trying to get around that 78. He's struggling just to do so. And then back up towards the front, we've got the number 24 of Rally Grant Davis for the first time in quite some time. Moving up through the field at 24 Designs, number 24, looking to get up onto the outside of that number 25. Maybe continue moving up here, as it looks like he might have some speed here at Kansas as the caution's coming out, wrecking the back. Looks like Dory Woods goes around.
Saw some guys loose in turns 1 and 2. This time Dory Woods gets loose in 3 and 4. Looks like just entered the turn, maybe a little bit off his line, and gets loose, backs it into the outside wall, unfortunately, so some damage to the rear end there, but we'll once again be under caution.
Not that bad of a run to get kicked off here at Kansas. We're 20 laps in now. Corey Hoover, Michael Araya, Justin Munsell, Rally Grant Davidson, J.D. Laird. That's your top 5 here on CFI. We're going to throw it off for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got the restart for you. You are tuned in live on Checkered Flag Interactive. This is big here tonight.
Goes to the inside, down to the turn number 1, gives it a go.
Giving the push to Chris Oberlin, putting him back into the lead.
Gonna go side by side, it's gonna be door to door. Who gets it?
Oh my God! They died almost!
Yeah, this is going to be one of those races where you're just going to have to hold your breath the entire time.
Everybody up, Taruska, the number 4 gets out. Going around, it's the big one.
With our experience of computer graphics, 24 Designs can make you a customized graphic that fits your needs. With graphics for a website, we will make you a logo that fits your company at an affordable price. iRacing paint schemes are also our specialty and can be designed however you would like. If you need another type of online graphic, we can take care of those needs as well. Just contact us by going to www.24-designs.com and we will set you up with the best we have to offer. 24 Designs, where we design for you in mind.
Not my best landing.
Back here live, set and ready to go back racing here. We are double back up. It's going to be Corey Hoover, Michael O'Reilly leading him down at green flag, Justin Munsil, and then the number 23 of JD Lear. Row number 2 here as we are coming 24 laps into this thing. We've still got just over 100 to go. Kansas Motor Speedway full of surprises here tonight. I think this will be another one of those exciting restarts here. Some of these guys moving up through the field. Austin Hartenfels up inside the top 10, almost to the top 5.
Yeah, definitely, and these guys, they know what they at least have so far in this race. A long way to go, as you said, Steve, and now we've got some new guys on the inside, some new guys on the outside lane for this restart, so maybe if they haven't had a chance to, have a different lane, this might be their chance to make some ground up, or, unfortunately maybe lose some ground as well. So a lot of learning still going on early in this race, trying to find those extra tidbits that might help you win this race later. So just have to see how it all works out as the pace car pulls off. Corey Hoover, the leader on this restart.
And a good restart for Hoover there. Gets a nice little jump. That inside line stutters on the inside, and then the outside does the same. Michael O'Reilly's got Munsell underneath of him as Corey gets a nice little gap going on 1 and 2.
Yeah, big lead for Corey Hoover. Justin Munsil, he slots into second after going around Michael O'Reilly on the inside line. Riley Grant Davis trying to follow through that 24 car, doing a nice job. Michael O'Reilly splits it almost 3 wide, dives it down to the inside, trying to retake second.
38 of Shane Terrian gets a little bit loose there, slips up the track, almost gets up into JD Lear. He'll hold on to it. Look at Ryan Dyson moving back up through the field there. I don't believe he took tires on that last pit stop, and he's moving up, and oh, Shane Terrian sideways. He's going to hold on to it there as we almost had big jump.
Yeah, Ryan Dyson, he's really excited to get back to the front, that's for sure. Unfortunately, got into Shane Terrian a little bit there. I think 38 was already getting loose, though. Really nowhere to go for both these guys. Good save, though, and we carry on with no problems.
Davis struggles there on that inside line to get a run, and here comes Lariah back on the outside. He'll fight back here with Munsil in that 5150 machine coming up as well. JD Laird, Austin Hartenfels moving up to the front of the field.
Yeah, Riley Grant Davis, one of those guys going for it all tonight. Not really a lot of things to talk about in terms of points or anything else. He did win at Talladega a couple weeks ago, so he's got that win in the bag, something to think about from this season, but he's definitely out here to get another one tonight, and took a dive for the lead last time by. Unfortunately didn't get it, but he is one of those guys who's really showing the rest of the field just how this inside line reacts later into the run, because we're now past the restart. It's been about 5 or so laps, and he's still down there and running strong in second, so possibly that inside groove at least coming a little bit more into lane.
It's not, I don't see that it's going to last, Shane. I think that exactly what happened to Dyson that first run is starting to happen to him, and that's why he's got to back off so much more than everyone else. Now he's slowing down on the inside, not getting quite the run that he was, and having to track up the track as well.
Definitely still fighting hard with these guys as everyone's still chasing Corey Hoover, and Corey had a really huge lead on the restart, but they effectively have diminished that down to just 0.2 of a second or so, and Michael Larea has been one of those guys in a mile and a half that's been pretty dominant, along with Corey Hoover. They are your front two, with Justin Munsil, Riley Grant Davis, JD Laird, and Austin Hartenfels, pretty much the top 6 all battling together.
Chris Wright struggling to get that number 20 back up inside the top 10, that even control number 20. He's hopping underneath of Garoppolo. That'll get him back to 11. Pass for him. Battle for the front, though. Corey Hoover all the way up to the outside, and the 44 of Lariah down to the inside, trying to make it work. Can't quite get the run, but Corey Hoover has company.
And definitely took a chance there, did Michael. Didn't get it, but definitely learned what he could do possibly better for next time, doing everything to take the lead away, but at the same time, be a little bit conservatively aggressive, I guess if you could call it that way. They kind of contradict each other, but he's doing everything he can to try and take the lead, but at the same time, not using everything that he's got still. He'll try and regroup with the rest of these guys and take hot pursuit.
Top 10 starting to spread out. Ryan Dyson's made his way back up to 7th here so far. And then the 38 of Tarian on the move. The biggest driver that's been falling back here so far this run has been Rally Grant Davis, now down to 5th. He'll be working on stabilizing that car, and as Dyson hops in the run, so he's going to try to take that spot away to get back up into the 6th. He's always going to do the slide job there. I don't think he can put a piece of paper between the two cautions out there. Krasinski's going.
Yeah, the 4, Justin Krasinski goes around off turn 2. Another car, I believe, went around as well. The 11 of Brendan Madonia might have been a separate incident there.
Oh,
but both those guys having some trouble.
They collided mid-wreck, both of them.
Yeah, it actually looks like that. At first I saw the 11 of Brendan get loose, but then Krasinski, yeah, he gets into the rear end of Brendan, and that sends him around, and whoa! Joe Lawrence had to stuff it in the fence not to nail Krasinski, but both those cars received damage, so I'd say it's a 3-car wreck there. Once again, someone getting loose in turns 1 and 2 and not being able to handle it. Definitely starting to see that inside and outside grooves get a little bit treacherous.
Getting the ring in with one of the drivers down there, Ryan Dyson, driver number 28. Shane, over to you.
Well, you guys are getting ready to come down pit road, Ryan, but you've had a pretty eventful race so far. Kind of take us through your recovery after that spin.
Well, I was just playing with how hard you could drive the car just to see. I figured I'd do that early on just in case, and that's why you do it early on. Got a little sideways. Glad I saved it. No damage. There's two scares I had there. We've driven back up here. This could not be any more fun. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we're really, I guess, kind of going to school, you could say, on how the inside lane is working to the outside lane. Which lane do you prefer so far, and do you think that inside lane is going to come in toward the end, maybe?
I'm working the inside pretty good, I think. We're, a couple pretty mean slide jobs, which is not very often we get to do on asphalt, so it's pretty fun. I just apologize to Justin for the one I put on him just before the caution. He was off the pace a little bit. He got in the wall. I wasn't expecting him to get that good of a run off the corner, but I guess that's just a product of the track. You got to do that sometimes, which is making for a lot of fun. And as long as people are respectful with each other, like Bradley and I were there racing a bit, it's definitely a lot of fun.
Definitely, and I think also something we really haven't talked about tonight is tires. I know you guys just came down pit road, but how important do you think new tires are on passing at this track?
There's going to be a balance between track position and tires as people figure out how to deal with the old tires. I think tires will become more important and track position will become more important and tires will become less important, I think would be a fair guess as we get further into the race. I guess we'll just have to play it by eye and see how people are dealing with it.
Alright, definitely, Ryan, and I guess before we let you go, any sponsors or shout-outs quick you want to thank for tonight's race?
As usual, I got to thank London Recreational Racing for the stickers on the car, APC Auto Parts, Driven Steering Wheel, Spencer Lewis Promotions, Our Expression Studios, and all the people that help out the league, and of course you guys for broadcasting each and every week.
Alright, perfect. It's Ryan Dyson, currently running 7th here. We wish him the best of luck for the rest of the race.
And we are 2 to go, and we get these pace car to come across the stripe there, turn those lights off. We'll go back to green flag racing. It looks like Austin Hartenfeld is going to be leading and bound to the green unless he brings it down pit road here this time by. That'll be interesting. Austin Hartenfeld's by far the driver that's made up the most positions. I do believe started like back in 15th or something. So that number 29, that Kroger number 29, looking pretty competitive here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Austin Hartenfeld's been one of the guys. It's been an interesting story for him this season. He's missed a couple races. It's taken him out of the run for the championship, but still always a very strong driver here in the UpperEdge Racing League, and especially in the CMC Sportsman Series. He's put together some amazing races over the seasons, and really looking forward to having a win here off the table and doing a nice job. Gets a lap led, a bonus point for that, but I think he really wants to stick maybe one to Corey Hoover. his fellow teammate and friend. Definitely has been seeing Corey do well these last couple of weeks. Maybe Austin wants to get up there and try and rain on his parade.
You say maybe, I can guarantee it there, Shane, is number 29's no slouch when it comes to speed. He's always seeming to have plenty of it, so it's not like he's a stranger to victory lane here, and these guys have had some of the most classic battles in UpperEdge's history, so I'm sure here tonight, if things and the conditions play together, we'll probably have these two battling out for quite some time, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure.
We can start right about, well, in a couple seconds or so when the pace car pulls off. These guys will be side by side as we go across the start-finish line for yet another restart. The inside lane pretty much been automatic on restart, so I would expect Austin Hartenfels, if he gets a good run on the restart or jump, to pull out to the front. But after that, who knows, as the pace car pulls in. And Austin Hartenfels, leader inside lane, leads them to green, and here we go. Once again, back to green flag racing.
Pretty dead even start there for both of those guys on that front row. Corey Uber will fall into that second spot, place in line, get down. Everyone is trying to get down on this first lap down to the bottom of turn 1. Coming up off the corner, Corey Hoover looks down to the inside line. He'll think about it once, he'll think about it twice. He'll stick up into the outside line. Here comes 29 up on the outside. He's going to stay with it. And that number 33 is probably going to be able to make the pass here. Will he do a crossover? Will he get the run? Yes, he will. Battle for the lead.
Got a battle for the lead. 3 wide behind him. Ryan Dyson slouched in between. They're still 3 wide into turns 1 and 2. They make it work though. It's Corey Hoover. He jumps in front there and takes the lead. But JD Laird also going for the lead along with Ryan Dyson. Big time battling so far.
I don't know where Dyson just got all that speed, but he just rolled through the middle, roll and pull right there as JD Laird will clear Corey Hoover for the lead.
Austin Hartenfels went to the outside. Corey Hoover went to the inside, took the lead. Then Corey Hoover went to the outside the next lap, and JD Laird went to the outside, took the lead. But whoa, Austin Hartenfels, all of a sudden something goes dead on that car, hard to the outside wall. Maybe a tire goes down or something. That was absurd, but hard impact.
Yeah, extremely hard impact there. That's going to shove him all the way to the back of the field. He's probably up and out of it for quite some time now, as we are still duking it out and jostling around for that top spot. Corey Hoover looks into the middle, nowhere to go, as JD Laird's going to shove it up to the high side. Dyson's going to try to clear him on the inside. Big time slide job probably in the works here. He's going to do it. He's going to pull it off. Will JD Laird try to find a hole?
JD Laird's going to dive it back onto the inside. Is he trying to do another slide job to try and see what he can do? Yes, he will, as Dyson actually gets loose. Laird takes the lead by far, and he rockets to the front as Corey Hoover might take away second on the inside lane. But Ryan Dyson, nonetheless, what a comeback from the spin up into the top 3.
And then they're still jostling for position mid-pack. Bradley Burke falling back to 9th with that damage from earlier. Chris Wright now up highest he's been all night in 8th. Shane Terrian's battling still with that very loose number 38 Monster Energy machine. He's in the pack. Taking a little bit of a further look back, Joe Lawrence trying to make a comeback. Andy Glazik almost got taken on by that last caution, so he's got some work to do as well. Back up towards the front, Corey Hoover now has his sights set on JD Laird, and they've fallen in the line. Dyson's now back to 3rd.
Just behind them, Rally Grant Davis has once again resurfaced into the top 5. He's up into 4th, so great run for him. And also Michael Larea completing your top 5. All these guys single file in that outside lane now. That was some pretty awesome racing we saw the first couple laps after the restart. Ryan Dyson, I believe, made the pass for the lead. Not in the inside or outside groove, but the middle groove. It's actually 3 wide at one point. Not only charged through that, but went all the way up to take the lead. So something to note maybe for later in this event. That little groove might also be an option for these guys.
Yeah, he really just looked like a rocket ship there. He came out of nowhere, cautions out. Mike Tellier goes around mid-pack.
Looks like he was battling with 91 at Doy Woods, possibly some contact there off the wall and some hard hits. Wow. To the front end does Mike Tellier go, and also Doy Woods as well. These guys bringing around off turn 2.
caution out once more here on lap 44. We'll throw it off for a commercial break. When we come back, we'll break it down as we're coming closer and closer to halfway, and what we'll see here if we get a green flag run. Don't go away. CFI returns in just a few moments.
You are tuned in live on Checkered Flag Interactive. This is big here tonight.
Goes to the inside, down to the turn number 1, gives it a go.
Giving the push to Chris Overland, putting him back into the lead.
Gonna go side by side, it's gonna be door to door. Who gets it?
Everybody up, Taruska and the number 4 gets the winner. Going around, that's the big one.
With our experience of computer graphics, 24 Designs can make you a customized graphic that fits your needs. With graphics for a website, we will make you a logo that fits your company at an affordable price. iRacing paint schemes are also our specialty and can be designed however you would like. If you need another type of online graphic, we can take care of those needs as well. Just contact us by going to www.24-designs.com and we will set you up with the best we have to offer. 24 Designs, where we design for you in mind.
Not my best landing.
Line back up here on lap 47, coming to 48 on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bone Steel, Shane Doherty up in the booth as always here as we are getting ready for this restart. Shane, we're coming up to halfway. JD Laird in that number 23 deciding to stay out. Every other car in the field came down there.
It's definitely going to be one of the learning factors here in this restart. JD Laird, old tires. He's going to cruise that inside lane, obviously, so he's already going to have the advantage, but after that, I guess we'll kind of see how those tires are. Ryan Dyson talked about it last caution. Track position going to start to play a bigger factor than tires. This might be your answer here, how that really does shake out as the pace cars get ready to pull off here. Kind of find out the results of this restart.
JD Laird gets a nice jump, and he's going to need every those fresh tires and everybody else with the fresh tires. Dyson's going to hop to the outside. JD Laird will move and make sure that hole is closed. Back down the inside through 3 and 4. Everybody into the top 3 there, down the inside line. Doesn't look like too big of a gap has been closed quite yet, but now I think on the second lap we'll see it close up a little bit more.
This is interesting to see what line these guys all choose. Top 3 go to the inside lane. Michael Larrea, the only driver to go up high, it seems like now, as JD Laird pushes it wide off the corner. Ryan Dyson going to take a dive to the inside in turn 3. Like I said, on the newer tires, see if he can make the difference, and looks like he's going to rocket back to the front.
Yeah, he'll move back up to that top spot, and I don't think JD will have any momentum to really do anything with it very long. So, that moves Dyson back up to lead. He'll lead his second lap tonight. Here comes Hoover, looking underneath that number 23 of Laird, and he's going to get a run all the way down to the left, or the quarter panel of that number 28, and he's going to stick it there down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Corey passed a car and a half. He got by JD Laird entirely and got all the way up to the door of Ryan Dyson, and now up to the fender, pretty much dead even off turn 4. Ryan's going to have the run off the corner, probably retake the lead, but Corey Hoover almost took the lead and by passing 2 cars in 1 lap.
Here comes Larrea down on the inside. He's got the run here. Will he be able to clear JD Laird? Not quite yet. He'll clear him. Now he's got to deal with Corey Hoover on his outside. Choosing the rocket line there, right in the middle. He's all the way up past Corey Hoover, coming on the inside of that number 28.
That just might be one of the hidden secrets to this race, Steve, is that inside lane. We saw Ryan Dyson, the previous run, take the lead, coming from all the way 3 wide in the middle, and now Michael Larrea is going to take the lead from 3 wide in the middle. Actually just 2 wide there, but using the middle lane as JD Laird gets loose, he'll fall back, but there is just some kind of like undiscovered gold or something in that middle lane, because it's got grip and it's moving forward, and just gave someone the lead there with Michael Larrea.
Oh, and we're going to go 3 wide almost. He puts the nose in there, he'll back out. Looks 3 wide and into the corner. JD, oh, contact Dyson in the outside wall.
Yeah, definitely contact made there. Definitely going to be some
4 wide. Oh, we're wrecking. Big wreck. Huge wreck. Oh.
That took a bad situation. It made it 10 times worse as Hartenfels gets destroyed trying to get through. That is probably 10 cars or so in the field. Big one, definitely.
And it all starts up towards the front. We'll go back here, take another look at it. Going into the corner, Dyson, he gets stuck on that outside line, nowhere to go. Put up into the outside wall, everyone saves it, but then Shane Terrian throws it into the middle, and then lag off of Rally Grant Davis starts to spin people out, and then they just collect into it down the back straightaway, and then Hartenfels can't get rode down and hard into the number 25, and that is pretty much a quarter of the field right there.
Taking a really in-depth look on just if Michael Larrea was clear, and I can confirm he was clear into turn 1, just barely, but there was actually about a quarter of a foot or so between the 44 and 28, and Ryan actually did make contact with the rear end, which sent his car into the wall pretty much straight, and then he tried to gather it back up, but everyone else behind him kind of freaked out and tried to get by him, and that just created a really bad situation. And as we saw, Steve, an absolute mayhem wreck down the back straightaway.
And Terrian puts it in the middle, really nowhere to go. I mean, it's hard to make those judgments as a driver. I mean, you see 4 or 5 positions there right in front of you. Everybody looks like they've got it collected, and then you throw it in there, and it turns out, nope, nope, nope.
20 at Chris Wright also got involved in that. He's one of the guys fighting for that second spot in the championship standings, trying to be the runner-up and possibly even have a chance for the championship, but that might be the end of his hopes for that, as that car pretty much destroyed in the front end, as long as many of these other guys as well are on pit road for damage repair. JD Laird, he got loose a couple laps before that wreck and was back there for that reason, and got involved in it because of it, so that team is heavily trying to repair that car. Got some right side and left side damage as well. Then after that, pretty much everyone else involved in that wreck pretty much getting ready to put the car on the hauler because there's really nothing left of them.
And with that, that's going to change a little bit of the complexities of our field here, as we're not quite to halfway yet, and we just lost a lot of competitive drivers. I'll take you through some of the ones: Thomas Story, Mike Tellier, Chris Wright, Ryan Dyson, Shane Terrian, Justin Munsell, Austin Hartenfels, all involved, Riley Grant Davis as well. So a list of drivers just taken out here early on.
Looks like Michael Larrea, after all that, he's going to be the leader, but he's going to do that staying out. He did not pit under this caution, so the 44 will resume the lead. Andy Glazik's got some pretty heavy front end damage, but he's probably going to bring it down pit road either this time or next time. So maybe some TV time for that car, that, or he might stay out. We'll see, but after that, everyone else has come down pit road for 4 tires and fuel. Corey Hoover is going to be the first driver off pit road. He's going to be third at the time being. So we'll see how that puts him for the restart, but guys like Mark Rapolo, Mark Murphy, Joe Lawrence, also Trevor Rapolo as well, all these guys not involved in that wreck have put them in a good position.
Some of these guys might even choose to take some strategy here, I mean, it's still not too early to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and with some of these faster drivers out of the way, I mean, I tell you what, it might not be an awful idea to try some new strategies here, see what you can't pick up. Track position is key and important. Tires are important. There's a lot of things that are just coming into play, and I think it's really on a driver basis who can manage their stuff better. That's who it's going to work best for.
Andy Glazik will stay out, so we'll see how his car is on this restart along with everyone else's. As plenty of these guys, they might have not been having the greatest of nights. But maybe now with that wreck taking out quite a lot of guys, they find themselves in a better position than they were before, and possibly even a chance to pounce and take some good finishes out of tonight. I know we're not till halfway as we've been talking about, but still, this is a great chance to grab some track position to hang on to for the rest of the race, and who knows, maybe put yourself in a spot to win.
Pace car lights are off, he'll pull down, there he goes. Now the field to Laraya. And the 27 of Glazik on the outside. Green flag back in the air. We're racing in that outside line. Whoa, I don't know where we're going. We're heading to the outside wall. But we're back to green flag.
Yeah, definitely not a good start for the outside lane. And much after that, inside lane dominant at that one as Michael Larrea rockets to the front. Pretty big lead over Corey Hoover now. And everyone else dives to the inside lane, what seems to be the place to be the first couple of laps. And after that, the outside group comes in. We'll have to see how that middle group is as Michael Larrea goes right to the middle group. He might be feeling pretty comfortable there, and he stays in the lead doing it.
Lots of jostling here towards the end of the pack. J.D. Laird just inside the top 10. He's battling back with Dwight Woods, Justin Krizaneski, Brennan Madonia, all of those drivers back there. And then back up towards the front. Laraya is side by side with Hoover for the lead.
Hoover takes a big dive to the inside lane, gonna try and take it away, and he will on those newer tires. Rockets through, and he will once again resume the lead to Corey Hoover.
A couple of drivers that I'm interested in watching is Mark Murphy, that number 48 now inside the top 5. We haven't talked about him all night long. There he is, baby, and he's looking for more. So we'll just have to see if that number 48, I mean, it's points battle time. Might not be necessarily racing for that top spot, but hey, every points position is a bit of momentum and bragging rights for sure. Towards the mid part of this pack still, they're trying to jostle around, figure out where they need to be. Justin Krizaneski trying to move back up, almost contact out of that number 11, trying to move up in front of Chris Wright. No room there quite yet, and they're going to remain side by side. Back up towards the front, the gap between the top 3 continue to spread out a little bit more. Joe Lawrence battles with J.D. Laird now. This is for 6th position, and it looks like J.D. will probably clear him. Yes, he will.
You got all those cars involved in that wreck. The 23 of J.D. Laird, probably the only car still up to speed and has a chance for the win. He's got right side and left side damage, whether the team really knows that or not, but the car's flying and doing a great job, and he's up into 6th pretty much when he restarted outside the top 10, and who knows where that 23 will be in the next couple of laps. He's really picking him up and putting him down.
Hopping on board right now with Lariah sitting in 3rd. Taking a look at those 2 leaders starting to pull away a little bit more, but Lariah's trying to stabilize it here, even with those older tires. But Mark Murphy all the way up to 2nd now, and he's got his sights set on Corey Uber. Let's hop on board with Mark. See how that machine's rolling right now. I mean, it's at a 0.5 second, half of a second gap, and Corey Uber looks consistent for sure. But this number 48 looks pretty darn fast as well as it closes down the gap a little bit more from 3 and 4. It's now down to 4 tenths.
This is a car that did not even qualify tonight. Mark Murphy started all the way back in 22nd out of the 24 cars that took the green flag tonight and made it through some of the wrecks and has really put himself in the place to be here as we near halfway. And that's closing in on the leader, Corey Hoover, possibly to have an answer for Corey's dominance. Pretty much the car to beat tonight with the exception of Michael Reyes. So I think Mark Murphy definitely someone to be reckoned with. I believe he won at Las Vegas earlier this year, so he does have some mile-and-a-half experience and also some pretty good talent with driving here, and he's showing that right now as he continues to close it.
Chad Coleman now moving up through the field as well. That number 6 machine looks underneath Lawrence. He'll hop underneath him. He'll probably be able to make that pass here and take that middle line. Yes, he will. So I'll move him up another position as he does a little bit of a slide job going around Ryan Dyson. Damaged number 28 here. As that is unfortunate for him. That's going to be heartbreaking the point standings for him as he was battling there for that 5th position. Mark Murphy, on the other hand, continues to speed up and continues to click down on the time that Mark Murphy has over him. It's getting closer and closer.
And he's really taking advantage off the corner, especially with that draft, to pull that Ford Mustang down the straightaway and really try and catch up to Corey Hoover. And that last time guy actually loses a little bit of ground, maybe had to get out of the throttle off turn 4, but nonetheless a really strong run by Mark Murphy, and he could really put together a great showing tonight and take advantage of the unfortunate circumstances of Chris Wright's and maybe put himself in a good chance to finish 2nd in the championship.
Still hanging pretty strong in that 5th position as J.D. Laird gets around him there. And he's not rolling away and giving up as we're at that halfway point just past now. Not too much going on around the track right now with a lot of damage. Cars still only 17 running, 16 on the lead lap, so a lot of the field has been damaged here. And that has killed a lot of the car count. We're going to take this moment though, throw it off to a side-by-side commercial break. We'll update you on how the run's going, what we need to look for if we're still green, and then how pit stops are going to work.
With our experience of computer graphics, 24 Designs can make you a customized graphic that fits your needs. With graphics for a website, we will make you a logo that fits your company at an affordable price. iRacing paint schemes are also our specialty and can be designed however you would like. If you need another type of online graphic, we can take care of those needs as well. Just contact us by going to www.24-designs.com and we will set you up with the best we have to offer. 24 Designs, where we design for you in mind.
Hey, you are tuned in live on Checkered Flag Interactive. This is big here tonight.
Goes to the inside, down to the turn number one, gives it a go.
Giving the push to Chris Overland, putting him back into the lead.
Gonna go side by side, it's gonna be door to door. Who gets it?
Oh my God, they tied almost.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those races where you're just going to have to hold your breath the entire time.
Everybody up, Taruska and the number 4.
Contact,
Going around. It's the big one.
One last start. One last turn. One last push.
Winner of the Daytona 500, youngest driver.
One last hurrah.
Greatest day of my life, Winston Cup Championship.
One last time around.
Back here on CFI, looks like our second place points driver goes around.
And this is definitely unfortunate as it will end what was a pretty long green flag run. Definitely that's going to really set things up here for some pit stops. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, looks like just loops it around, doesn't really get any damage from it, so number 20 will be okay, but frustrating for sure.
Yeah, definitely not the night Chris Wright has wanted, and just to add some insult to injury for that team, but still, he's got a chance to get a decent finish because they will have time to repair the car on pit road, as does everyone else, as the field brings it down, and should be 4 tires and fuel for everyone.
checkered flag interactive. This is big here tonight.
Goes to the inside, down to the turn number 1, gives it a go.
Giving the push to Chris Overland, putting him back into the lead.
Gonna go side by side, it's gonna be door to door. Who gets it?
Oh my God! They tied almost!
Yeah, this is going to be one of those races where you're just going to have to hold your breath the entire time.
Everybody up, Taruska and the number 4.
Contact,
Going around. That's the big one.
With our experience of computer graphics, 24 Designs can make you a customized graphic that fits your needs. With graphics for a website, we will make you a logo that fits your company at an affordable price. iRacing paint schemes are also our specialty and can be designed however you would like. If you need another type of online graphic, we can take care of those needs as well.
Back here live on lap 80 out of 133, so we're right on the edge of that final run if we go green. Steve Bonesteel, Shane Doherty up in the booth here, Kansas Motor Speedway for the UpperEdge Racing CMC Sportsman Series. Race number 18 as we are coming down to the tail end of the season. Michael Araya, Trevor Rapolo leading him down to the green here after our latest caution. And that number 44 lost the lead to Mark Murphy, and that number 48 there in that second row just before the caution came out. And back on pit road, they transferred spots once more. J.D. Laird back up the front.
Also interesting to note, Corey Hoover all the way back to 12th for this restart. Gonna have to see how that car fares, I should say, to get through the field. And it's definitely gonna be interesting to watch as the pace car gets ready to pull off. Gonna be working lap 81 when we get the green flag here. So getting down to it, track position continuing to be an important factor, but it's only going to increase as the pace car is there as it goes off. Michael Araya, gas down, and we're back to green flag racing.
Araya does a nice job on that start there. He'll pull away a little bit. J.D. Laird pops down the inside line very quickly. And Mark Murphy underneath Garoppolo trying to take away that second spot, and he'll do so there as the number 9 can't really do too much on this opening lap on that outside. Takes a while for that run to get going. Is he going to try to fit down in that gap there? He's not going to get clear. No, he won't. And then here comes J.D. Laird, and then the 6, Chad Coleman. He's in the hot spot line pretty much. He's going to try it there. Corey Hoover, though, picks up multiple spots, about 5 spots in one lap. And wow, we've got a lot of movement.
Really surprised these guys are going to that outside lane this early after the restart. It's just not the place to be. And Mark Murphy went up there, went ahead, lost second to J.D. Laird, and now Corey Hoover blows by Trevor Rapolo and now Joey Woods on the inside lane. So that's just really surprising. I'm surprised all these guys aren't down there on the white line, but nonetheless, everyone who is making ground, and they are coming to the front in a hurry.
And Michael Araya still holding off for that top spot on J.D. Laird. J.D. and then 23 right on his back bumper. Then Mark Murphy back in the picture once more, wants that first spot.
These quickly breaking away or broken away, and they are doing a really nice job of pulling away from the rest of the field, kind of, positioning themselves in a great place to ride at least for a little bit. I know Laraya's got a great car, so J.D. Laird might be looking to save some tires at this point and logs some laps where he takes a chance to take the lead and also kind of fight these cars early on in the run. Seems like they're really loose on entry to turn 1, and that's creating some really difficult situations to be in. And we've seen plenty of cars go around in turns 1 and 2 and some pretty big wrecks there as well. These guys trying to keep that in mind and at the same time go fast here in the late going.
Just under 50 laps to go, so we are in that part of the race where the intensity starts to rise for the drivers, and things start to matter a little bit more out here because of those spots. You've got to click them off quickly, as it looks like that number 33 of Hoover is going to hop underneath of Coleman there. They'll try to clear him heading into 3 and 4. He's down to the inside line, taking it to the white line as far as you can go.
Still not quite sure what put the 33 Corey Hoover way back in the pack on the restart, but nonetheless, nothing wrong with the car because he's coming all the way to the front, inside of the top 5 now, and he is really doing everything he can to take advantage of these multiple groups, at least early on in the restart, after the restart, and make up the ground he needs to get up there, and he's almost there. Got a couple cars to go, and this 33 might be one to reckon with for the lead.
Ryan now with a 0.3 second lead over JD Laird. JD right there in that second position trying to move back up, but Mark Murphy's looming right on his back bumper, and he's going to get the run as he takes it out to the wall down the back straightaway. Look at the run that that 48 Ford Mustang gets, because he is coming towards the front as well. He's one of the only drivers that we've seen be able to actually show up Michael O'Reilly here in the late going. But we'll have to watch this one play out and see how it goes.
Another driver I've been really impressed with throughout tonight's event, the 6 of Chad Coleman. Started 12th, up to 4th, doing a nice job there, consistently improving. He's one of those guys, done a nice job as well.
These drivers right on top of each other. Here comes Corey Hoover on the back of Chad Coleman in that 5th position. He wants to get past Chad Coleman, start working on Mark Murphy, and then JD Laird and get back up to that lead. And that number 33 has led 33 laps here tonight, tied with Michael O'Reilly so far, but Michael will get another lap led, most likely this time by, and surpass him. So it's going to be one of those things. Corey Hoover doesn't need the points necessarily. He doesn't need the bonus points. He just needs good finishes, clean finishes. As long as he finishes top 5 in this race, I mean, he's basically guaranteed the championship.
Yeah, he could, even hypothetically just pull it off right now, probably finish still inside the top 20 with the amount of cars out in tonight's event, and still pretty much be it as in terms of championship for the rest of the season. Be 2 races left, but I don't really think he's thinking about that, and I think we're really making a big deal about that because he's just out here racing hard, doing everything he can like he's been doing all season, and I fully believe that team wants to go out here tonight and win no matter what and do what they can to continue that dominance they've had. Winning last week in New Hampshire, definitely want to go 2 for 2 in tonight's event as well. So Corey Hoover definitely putting the whole race car perspective back into it, just kind of focus on what you've been doing all season.
A bit of a stack up there, is a little bit of a slowdown getting in the corner for 48 Mark Murphy. And then once again, that rubber band, they start to spread back out. Once we get down in the 1 and 2 and up and off the exit, I do believe we'll just start scrunching back down. Things really aren't changing position-wise and interval-wise between these guys. They're still right on top of each other. Mariah continues to pull away just slightly every lap by about half of a tenth. So as these guys, they're right on top of each other, they're racing it out, they're racing hard for this position, kind of really not going anywhere, kind of like a hamster on the hamster wheel, spinning it, feeling like you're working really hard, but you're not really going too far.
It looks like Chad Coleman might have enough of that whole hamster reference, because he's going to try a new line into turn 1 inside. He's actually going to try the middle groove here as he gets into contact with Mark Murphy. Corey Hoover has to almost fence it, but I think they are going to save it there. Disaster avoided.
And that's one of those things that Corey Hoover does not want to see happen to him and around him. That's just some of those things that make you really nervous, shaking your pants here late in the going, especially when it is for the points lead. When you've got a nice safety cushion, you want to keep that safety cushion as long as you can until you don't need it anymore. And when you don't need it, well, I tell you what, the season will be over.
And now Chad Coleman gets really loose off turn 2. He pretty much had that car going around. Wow. Does a nice job to save it. He's one of these guys. He's been around on the service for a while, so he knows how to wheel a race car, and that car pretty much going around on him. Just a nice job to save it. We stay green because of it.
Some more battles going on towards the end of the top 10. It looks like Dwight Woods holds off Justin Krasneski. Krasneski's got Trevor Garoppolo and Andy Glazik right on his back bumper. Garoppolo down the inside line, that clean number 9 machine, one of the few clean cars out here, and then Andy Glazik will choose the high side. He'll pull up side by side with Garoppolo. They're going to battle it out in 3 and 4 here as they continue on their journey to the finish line here. Wow, some of these guys is trying to use that inside line. I don't get it, Shane, because it's not working.
Yeah, we got some guys early in the restarts. They go to the outside, then they get past, and then they do it again the next restart. It's like, well, maybe that inside lane's working better. Might want to try that, and then guys try it, as you said, Steve, later in the run, when really the outside lane is the only place to be with the older tires, and really don't go anywhere is in terms of picking up a spot on the guy above you. So Justin Krzyzewski tries it again here. He makes a little ground through the center of the corner, but it's the same story. Has no run off the corner, and Andy Glazek makes the pass.
Still very, very tight battles right here as Andy Glazek wants to get up and around the 91 of Doy Woods. He's going to look to the inside, can't really do anything.
Yeah, the only extreme way to go around the guys by the outside lane in the trial. Boy, have we seen some interesting situations with that in racing over the last couple of weeks, but it's one way to do it here. You can try and slide job them, as we've seen earlier in the race, but with these older tires now into this run, really your only option is to try and get beside them in the outside lane and force them out of the outside groove and try and take away that spot. But for now, I think after that possibility is gone, these guys really nothing to do but ride in line.
Trying to get around Chad Coleman here as that struggling number 6 continues to fall back. They're almost going to split him there 3 wide. Think twice about that.
Nice save there by the 27 Andy Glazek. Once again had it going around, gets out of the throttle, saves it, and does a nice job there. I've seen plenty of guys lose it tonight, but also plenty of them try and hang on to these cars. It's not easy, as once again Chad Coleman gets loose. This time he's going around though.
That will bring out the caution here on lap 100.
I think he's the first car to officially spin it off turn 4, but definitely not the run that Chad was looking for, because that car was really good. Talked about him, and that went from good to bad and bad to worse there with the spins. The Sea of Black curse continues, unfortunately, for Chad. Apologize once again. We have to fix that somehow, but nonetheless didn't hit the wall, so he'll come back down pit road, get some 4 tires and fuel, and kind of retry things here.
We'll pop off for a commercial break right here. When we come back, we'll take it to the restart, what could be the final one here tonight on CFI.
back here live at Kansas Speedway as the pace car lights have gone off. The cars getting ready to once again line it up, which should be 26 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. Andy Glazik can make the call to stay on the racetrack, and he'll actually do the best he can. Actually took 2 tires, I believe, so that's going to be an interesting call for Andy Glazik. Got the same left sides as he had before, but some new right side tires on that car. Going to definitely be interesting. We've seen cars stay out. We've seen obviously the 4 tires of fuel out of the majority of the field tonight, but never 2 tires. So we'll see how that proves for him inside lane. And his outside, the 23 car of JD Laird. He's got some damage, but that car has shown some really good speed nonetheless. But one of the guys caught up in the big wreck and has done a nice job of making his way toward the front and staying there despite the damage. So he's going to be up there on the outside to challenge for the lead. And then obviously Michael Larea, Mark Rapolo, and also Mark Murphy out there to round out your top 5 for this restart. Pace car pulls off. It's going to be Andy Glazik, JD Laird, as I said, and this is going to get interesting because we are really getting down to the end of the race. These guys are going to make moves they haven't made in this race before. Have to see how it all plays out. Green flag back in the air. Great start, Glazik. They're 3 wide behind him, though, way back. Chris Wright didn't think that car would still be running at the end of this race, but he is inside the top 8. He goes to the way top. Michael Larea takes the 2nd spot, though, of JD Laird, and here comes Mark Murphy as well, diving it down to the inside. The guys taking advantage of that inside lane, and Larea rockets right by Andy Glazik for the lead, and as does Mark Rapolo, or actually Mark Murphy, I should correct there. So 3 wide down the trial. Larea takes the lead, and Corey Hoover tried to make a move, hit the apron, has to back out of it, so he'll fall back to 4th as JD Laird goes to the inside of Mark Murphy for a move, and Chad Coleman, the reason for the previous caution, he's made his way back up there as he goes by Mark Rapolo.
Yeah, he's right there, coming up underneath. Oh, very nice pass by him. And then Corey Hoover right on the back bumper of JD Laird. He's going to look down the inside, possibly down the back. No, he won't. Yes, he will. I don't know. He's right there on that back bumper, I tell you what.
Yeah, all these guys really can advantage of that restart, especially those who had the inside lane. They pretty much chose it, went with it, and they took the lead away. Pretty much kicked Andy Glazik right out of the picture. He was first on the restart, obviously your leader, and all the way back to 8th out of the 13 cars left on the lead lap, and could fall further back with cars on fresher tires. So Andy Glazik definitely took a risk taking 2 tires, and I think he's kind of learned exactly how that played out.
Tell you what, we haven't given him enough credit here today, but Michael Araya, driver number 44, he has done a great job this season here tonight, and I mean, he's impressed us all here, especially out in front. Now he's led 50 laps, 25 coming to 24 to go, and even if he does not win, he walks away with a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I mean, this number 44 has shown us that, I mean, there's other drivers out here that can compete. They can show drivers like Corey Hoover, JD Laird, that, hey, you know, you guys don't always have this race, you know, all locked up. Same with Mark Murphy in that 2nd position. He picked up momentum last season, and really, he's never slowed down since.
He really has, and both the guys we just mentioned, Michael Larea and Mark Murphy, they're really known for their mile and a half of talent, how those cars perform. But when we go to these kinds of racetracks, and here they are in the closing laps, running 1 and 2 literally, so that's pretty impressive by both these guys, and they're really doing the best they can to keep Corey Hoover away. But Corey Hoover is still up here in the 4th spot, battling hard. Championship implications or not, talked about it earlier, I don't think he really cares at this point. He knows he's got a lot to work with, and he wants to win more than anything. And kind of hard to tell a race car driver you can't go out there and win. That's pretty much what they want to do each and every week, and he goes for it there. Turns 3 and 4, almost contact by JD Laird, trying to make that inside work.
Yeah, he He's forcing the issue down on the inside with 22 to go. He's going to take it all the way down. A little bit of a bobble out of 33. And he's going to continue to get loose up off the corner. He's going to lose that momentum. He'll drop back in line. And now Chad Coleman might have a shot at taking the spot away from him.
Yeah, definitely trying everything he can is Corey Hoover, and they're really giving it everything they've got at this point, and you like to see that, especially out of Corey Hoover. He really is an aggressive driver. It doesn't matter what situation he's in or how he's been running in the race. He wants to get to the front and get to the front as fast as he can. And right now, he's going to have to do a nice job of regrouping, trying to catch these top three. And if anyone goes to battle in the top three, that'll definitely help his chances, along with Chad Coleman and the rest of the challengers behind him. So far, Michael Larrea still out front, doing the best job he can. Mark Murphy closing in ever so slightly.
And I think it's going to be pretty interesting when Mark Murphy and Larrea, if they go at it, who's going to come away with the spot. And J.D. Laird, don't get me wrong, he's fast, he's consistent. And whoa, this is going to get dicey here as, whoa, Ryan Dyson in the middle. Whoa, as Michael Larrea catches the outside wall. Dyson, nowhere to go. We got to take another look at that.
Situational driver awareness. A car on the wall and a car slow in the apron. Mark Murphy shoots it through the middle, finds a gap, takes the lead, same as J.D. Laird. That's called just being aware at that point for both these guys, and they rock it to the front together.
Very impressive.
Tough break for Michael Larrea, though, in the 44 was in the lead all the way back and forth after that with some right side damage, so he too will have to regroup and see what he can do. But Mark Murphy, because of the unfortunates there, he's going to take the lead away and try and pull away. Just as we say that, J.D. Laird and Corey Hoover breathing down his neck.
Oh yeah, I mean, no matter where you are right here, I mean, there is no break. You are working at it non-stop, and I mean, these three right here, those four, those five, those six, all of them are drivers that could very well bring home the victory. Kansas Motor Speedway, we talked about it going into the race. Qualifying times right on top of each other. The top 15, basically a tenth separated them. So this is not a surprise to see this close of racing.
J.D. Laird and Corey Hoover have a moment in turns 1 and 2, and they'll kind of wad it up a little bit. Everyone else on top of each other from that, but it's not going to matter as the caution comes out.
Looks like Justin Krzyzewski hard into the outside wall.
Yeah, he gets loose and gets into the outside wall there hard, backs it up.
Oh, Toy Woods gets into him hard there. That was an extremely hard hit. See here, will everyone bring it down? Looks like it will be everyone bringing it down, Shane, as we're going to go green with about 13 laps to go. Fresh tires for almost everybody.
I think the question is will we see another tire call like we saw Andy Glazik make, and that really didn't work out for Andy, as at least for a little bit. He had the lead and then lost it because the guys passed him on the inside. So, you know, maybe we'll see guys take two, maybe we won't. But I have to wait and see as these guys make their pit stops.
Thomas Story in the 47, he's got a clean car out here. It appears he might be staying out. He might also just be, you know, staying to take a lead lap or a lead lap here. So we'll have to keep our eyes on him, see how it plays out. But things are going to be very interesting here if he stays out.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll see. Well, I definitely have to see. He hasn't led a lap tonight, so maybe some bonus points or maybe some big-time bonus points trying to go for the win. So we'll have to see how this all works out for Thomas Story as everyone else off of pit road.
then the next driver, again, we're going to get a ring in with here is Corey Hoover, driver of the 33. He's led 33 laps. He's been trying to get back up there, lead some more, but it is hard to make these passes here. Corey and Steve up in booth.
Yeah, I got you guys. It's tough racing out here. It's just a one-groove track. It's fun, but it's still a one-groove track.
Yeah, it looks like that inside line isn't really the place to be for more than a lap, but I tell you what we have seen, the middle line comes alive. If you can do it just right, back off early, get on hard through the apex off. I mean, we've seen some drivers go from like 5th all the way to 1st. You've done it yourself a couple of times. Take us through how you can make these passes here.
Yeah, if you have new tires, race starts where you gain your spots. If you run the bottom, you can hold it, and then after about 3 or 4 laps, then it gets uncontrollably loose towards corner exit. But yeah, it's weird. You can run the wall pretty much just inches away from it, or you can kind of swoop down corner exit and then get a good run. But then you're on the inside of the guy, and then you still got to lift. So you got to be really patient.
Patience is key. Now for you, you've got yourself a points cushion, so you don't necessarily have to worry as much as some of these other drivers do when it comes to points. How do you plan on going all out for this, or do you just kind of, gonna wait and see what happens?
Yeah, it's certainly up to have a points cushion. I'm kind of just running how I ran every single race this year, just kind of wherever I'm at, kind of run based off people around me and what position I'm in. Had a hiccup today on pit road, had a speeding penalty like I did in the truck race last Monday. We'll see how it plays out though.
Alright, Corey, well, best of luck out there.
Alright, appreciate it.
Shane, back up to you.
Get ready for yet another restart here, and Thomas Story did bring it down pit road, so he will go to the back of the field after that service, leaving Mark Murphy, your new leader on the inside lane. Corey Hoover to his outside, going to be the front row. We'll have to see how it all plays out here in the closing laps. These guys definitely know they have the track position. This is your chance to get to the front and take the lead and possibly win.
And these are going
if you don't have it, you can have everything you can to get it.
These are going to be some very tough couple of laps right here. Because, for drivers like Michael Bryant, we talked about him, he's had such success here tonight. Now he's suddenly a little bit in a position where he's kind of stuck. He's up on that outside, he's second row, we're going to have 12 laps to go. There's a chance of a caution. Chris Wright back in the picture as well. Chad Coleman was fast, now he's way back there. And then there's Mark Murphy, Corey Hoover, J.D. Laird. I mean, these drivers were up there all night long. Laria's in the same boat. How do you make a win? How do you get the win? Green flag, back in the air. We are racing, and oh, they're stacking it up here on that inside, but pretty even restart from the top floor.
Yeah, very even restart for these guys up toward the front especially, and seems like Corey Hoover is going to try and use that middle groove, maybe with some bump drafting from Michael Larea to make it happen, but J.D. Laird nonetheless goes to the inside lane, trying to take away the second spot.
And that's going to put Hoover up to the outside wall here on those fresher tires. And we'll see if that slide job's going to come into play from the 23. Yes, it will. Will he drop in front of him? No, he won't. Almost knocks him up into the wall there. That 33 of Corey Hoover's probably a little bit nervous after that one. But look at Chad Coleman down on the inside line. Big run out of the number 6 here, side by side down the back straightaway. Almost contact there, getting down into the corner. Coming across the stripe, Hoover's still battling, but we're side by side. Battle for the lead. J.D. Laird, Mark Murphy. 10 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Who's going to bring it home? Slide job out of the number 23, success. Here comes the run out of the 48. He's going to look to the high side. He's going to shove it in the hole, the small gap there is. He found it. Will he be able to get a run off that high side? Is he going to drop down to the inside? That's where he's going. He's going to almost make contact there. Big time move out of Mark Murphy, and he'll lead that lap.
Yeah, definitely great pass. J.D. Laird, he's been trying it on the outside, this time to the inside, doing everything he can, pretty much only where Mark Murphy isn't at this point, and we're down to under 10 laps to go, and everybody right there for the win. Top 5, all there, and I got 2 cars on the inside, 2 on the outside, and Michael Larrea just lagging back, trying to see which one works, and so far, really can't tell.
Oh, and this is high intensity right here. Corey Hoover nowhere to go. Mark Murphy jumps down to the inside. That's going to kind of leave that outside groove open. He'll shut the door. Here comes Larrea 3 wide underneath of JD and Coleman. Everybody's going everywhere right now, fighting for the same bit of real estate. Now Hoover looks to take the lead away.
Going to stay in line with Mark Murphy, this time all the way up against the wall, and Mark runs a little bit lower. It's a possible run coming off the corner for Corey Hoover. Could try and swing it to the inside, but no, he's going to try and swing it to the outside. Nothing doing there, and he'll stay tucked in line.
Hopping on board with Hoover here. Beautiful view of the back end of that number 48, and he's... Oh, Corey Hoover gets into the wall. He's going to clip it.
Giving it everything he's got, and unfortunately gave it a little bit too much there, and he'll fall back as Chad Coleman takes away the second spot there, but that is exactly what Mark Murphy wanted to see happen, and it's going to extend his lead and really make it difficult for anyone to catch him without a car.
Gosh, this is crazy, crazy racing here. Just going for every bit of real estate out there.
Still a great run out of some of these guys up front, especially Chad Coleman. That car has been around once, been involved in some wrecks, but really a strong effort from him up to second with a chance to win this race if he can put together some nice laps here in the closing stages. Definitely is within reach, and that time by did pick up some time compared to Mark Murphy, possibly using that draft as well down the straightaway to get there. So, you know, catching him is one thing, passing him is another, so we'll have to see how that all works out.
And all 3 of them right there getting closer and closer together. Chad Coleman bringing Corey Hoover with him. And, I mean, we are getting right on it here. Look at the run that number 6 has got. I don't know where he's getting this speed, but it looks like he's got an extra 5 horsepower all the way up to the back bumper of Mark Murphy.
4 laps to go that time by, and all 3 of these guys single file. Who's going to pull out and make the move? It's almost like a Super Speedway race in the back of the day when everyone would ride in line and someone would pull out, be the brave soul to try and go for the win, and you know, maybe it's going to come down to a dive bomb or some kind of slide job to take away the win, but I think Chad Coleman and Corey Hoover are just going to ride in line for now and kind of figure out what they have to do.
On the flip side, one slight mistake out of any of them could mean tragedy for all of them. And that could be a driver like Larrea or J.D. Laird. They can slip back up in the lead. Very close call right there for the number 6 of Coleman. One slight bobble there. That's going to slow him down. Here comes the 33 of Hoover down to the inside line. 3 laps to go, but now Hoover's going to be stuck down there. Is he going to be able to do a slide job or anything to keep that number 6 at bay? And what can the number 6 do to continue chopping down on Mark Murphy? Because that's really what he wants. He wants that win. Mark Murphy down to the inside line. He'll block Hoover. Now he's got to make it back up to the outside. While he'll do just that, as Hoover can't do anything right now on that inside line, and Chad Coleman's just hoping and praying to find a hole, find a gap, get that run here. He's got the run. Will he take a look to the inside? Yes, maybe, no. No, he won't.
White flag going to be in the air this time by Chad Coleman, literally bump drafting Mark Murphy. This time he does take the run down the straightaway and will use that inside apron, try and make it move or work, but I think that outside lane is going to prevail. They're going to have to do something more elaborate here in this last lap to make it happen.
Oh, and Chad Coleman dies out, and here comes a huge run out of Corey Hoover. He makes contact with the back of the 48 into the outside wall.
Nonetheless, what a move it was. Tried to go for it, but missed.
Big block out of Mark Murphy.
Yep, and Mark Murphy's going to go ahead and take it across the finish line, and he wins today at the Kansas Speedway. What an effort to pull off these guys in the late go.
Wow, Shane. What a finish.
Gotta love the kind of driving we saw out of Corey Hoover, though. Points doesn't matter. Finish really doesn't matter. He wanted the trophy. He went for it. Didn't get it there. Got into the wall. Going to finish 5th. But wow, what an effort by him. Putting on a show, to say the least. But Mark Murphy takes away a very strong victory.
Let's take another look at that final couple of laps here. Chad Coleman down on the inside of Mark Murphy. He's not going anywhere, and then all of a sudden Corey Hoover just gets this massive run, runs out of room, gets into the back of the 48. He goes flying down to the inside line, 3 wide, Lariah through the middle. I mean, holy cow. And now Lariah, he wants to make it happen, but coming up off the corner, here comes Chad Coleman trying to shove it underneath of him. Mark Murphy makes the block. Lariah will walk away third, but what a finish.
It's definitely a hard-earned victory for Mark Murphy. Mentioned earlier, did not qualify, kind of made his way through some early wrecks to get to the front, and he kept it there. Kind of mirrors the image of the keys to the race I talked about earlier, kind of taking your time to get to the front, but then when you have that track position, holding on to it and seizing the opportunity to win the race, and that's exactly what Mark does, and he gets to celebrate here tonight.
Final results up on the screen here. J.D. Laird 2nd, Lariah 3rd, Coleman 4th, Hoover 5th, Mark Ruppolo 6th, Brennan Madonia with his best finish of the season in 7th position, Chris Wright in 8th, Trevor Ruppolo in 9th, Thomas Story with his best finish of the season in 10th. Over to you.
Yeah, definitely strong showing out of that top 10. Going ahead to finish 11th in tonight's event will be the 27 Andy Glazik, 12th Mike Tellier, 13th Ryan Dyson, caught up in some wrecks, and the rest of these guys definitely caught up in some wrecks, some big time ones we saw tonight. Doy Woods in 14th, 15th Justin Krasinski, 16th Justin Munseal, 17th Shane Terrian, Bronson Stafford 18th, 19th Bradley Burke, and then rounding out the rest of the field, Joe Lawrence, Austin Artenfels, Riley Grant Davis, Tom Bourne, and Corey Blevin.
And then I also believe you're a busy man down on pit road catching up with Ryan Dyson real quick.
Yeah, tough night for you, Ryan. Going to go ahead and finish 13th. Caught up in some pretty interesting wrecks, to say the least. Kind of take us through your night.
Yeah, London Recreational Racing Chevy Camaro was super fast tonight. That's back-to-back weeks. I thought we had a shot at the win, and we were on rails tonight. Thought we had it until Two-Tire Terrier decided to stick his nose where he had no business sticking it. So at some point in the next little while, he's got one coming for him, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, definitely some drama building there. Maybe take us through that one of the bigger wrecks we saw when you got at possibly a contact with Riley Grant Davis in the turns 1 and 2. We saw most of the field get caught up in it. Did you feel you got cut off, or did you feel maybe that was more of a racing incident?
The deal with Larea for the lead, I think it was just a product of sim racing where the cars don't always line up. I don't blame him for anything. I went back and watched it, and it just looked like for some reason when he came across, like he was clear. So it just looked like for some reason his car lagged back into mine or something, and it put me in the wall, and I thought I did a good job of getting out of the way, and then someone decided to be a hero and wreck everyone, so I don't know.
But nonetheless, we saw some great racing action here tonight at the Kansas Speedway. Really something we haven't seen in a while here. I know there wasn't a lot of passing, at least on the outside lane, but early in the restarts we did see a lot of passing. What was your opinion on that? Do you really think we've come a long way since the introduction to this track?
I mean, the racing tonight was fantastic. It was a blast. A lot of people showed a lot of respect out there. I know Bradley Burke and I raced side by side a bunch, and JD and I, and Larea and I, and Hoover and I, and there was just a bunch of people that showed a lot of respect and understood how to race clean, and that's ultimately what it's all about. And congrats to Mark Murphy on the win. That was well deserved. He did that on 2 tires, which is impressive. So. Well-deserved win for him, and I'm glad those guys had a good, clean, hard finish. I gotta go back and watch it, but by the sounds of everyone talking, it sure sounded like it was a hell of a race.
Yeah, definitely. Before we let you go, I know we already mentioned sponsors earlier in the race, but is there anyone behind the scenes for the league that makes it happen, and really that's been a contributor throughout the entire season?
Just gotta thank Austin Hartenfels. He always helps with adminning and stuff, and Corey helps us with the website after every single race, and it's those guys behind the scenes that ultimately help make sure everything runs smooth, and they don't get any credit for helping. So we gotta thank those guys, and of course all the sponsors that I thanked earlier: London Recreational Racing, APC Auto Parts, Our Expression Studios, Driven Steering Wheels, and as always you guys.
Alright, that's Ryan Dyson. Maybe not the finish he wanted tonight, but still lot of things to be happy about. Saw a great race here for the UpperEdge CMC Sportsman Series. Got a lot to build off of for the final 2 races of this season and the next season.
And those final 2 races are going to be very exciting, of course. We'll see you guys both here for those the next Thursday, I do believe. We'll have a 1-week break, I do believe, actually, for the American Thanksgiving in the middle there. I'll have to check that out real quick. But the end of the season's here pretty much, and then we go back in January, back to racing, possibly special event or 2 in the middle. And then we've got a couple of their Truck Series races I do believe we'll be broadcasting, their Winter Classic. So we'll be around, but for tonight's broadcast, we are